And welcome back to Christian World News. George, you have just returned literally from a trip around the world.
Yeah, it's been epic.
Where have your travels taken you?
Well, when it started in Southeast Asia, I went to China, Japan, Vietnam, South Korea. The highlight was Vietnam. It was my first trip to Vietnam. Looked at the church, looked at the challenges the church is facing there. Then I went all the way across the two oceans to Africa, profiled the story of an American missionary who survived Ebola and is now back in Liberia serving the people of Liberia.
So then your next stop was Europe. You actually visited a church there that has been holding 24-hour prayer services since October.
Yes, that's
Tell us
right.
about that.
Yeah, for almost 10 weeks. It's been unbelievable. Pretty much down the sleepy road. It's in a residential community on the outskirts of The Hague in the Dutch capital. It's a church that it's called the Bethel Church. And about 10 weeks ago, the Tamarazians, they are an Armenian family of four. They had been in the Netherlands for 9 years, trying to seek political asylum. You see the family there. And they've been waiting for 9 years. And then suddenly the Dutch government said, no, we are going to deport you. And so they decided to walk into the Bethel Church and seek refuge. Well, the Bethel Church officials, they decided to go back to basically the Middle Ages to find an archaic law that says no police officer or no government official can enter the church while the church is holding a service. So,
wow.
Wendy, for the last 10 weeks, pretty much every day, 24 hours a day, people will come from around the country, around the world. And I spoke to a leader there who talked about the impact this has had on the church and the community. Take a listen.
We got an enormous support just because we are starting the church asylum here. A lot of pastors are supporting now, more than 550. I think it's even now 580 pastors all over the country went to The Hague to support our service, to participate in it, to celebrate. And thousands of people are coming to the services. So the church is standing up for them, and I think that's a way to follow the gospel. That's a way of being a follower of Jesus Christ.
George, how long will these services go?
They're going to keep going until they find a resolution for the family.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you also had a chance to visit with the lawyer of Christian Asia Bibi, the Pakistani Christian who was in prison for many, many years.
Yes.
How's he doing? You know,
he escaped right after he got his client out of prison. And we had a chance to meet him at an undisclosed location. And he is, his whole life has been turned upside down. And I asked him, did he have any regrets for taking up the case of Asia Bibi? Remember, he is a Muslim defending a Christian. And here's what he said.
I'll never have a normal life like I used. I will always be looking over my shoulder for the rest of my life because I know there are radical Muslim fanatics who want me dead. But what gives me strength and encouragement is the response I've had from Christians around the world. Since the day I left Pakistan, so many Christians, even small children, young people, and even the elderly, some of whom run to me and hug me and kiss my hand, and they call me their hero. This is very encouraging to me. It reminds me that taking on Asia Bibi's case was the right thing to do, despite the consequences.
Amazing you were able to meet with him.
Yeah, and his whole life has been turned upside down, as I mentioned. All eyes now is on Asia Bibi. When is she going to get out? My understanding is that pretty much perhaps the nation of Canada, we have a story on Canada here in a second, but perhaps the nation of Canada will give her the asylum and the protection that she needs.
Oh, we hope so. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, George.
You're welcome.
Fascinating journey.
Thank you.
Well, coming up, whoa, Canada, America's neighbor to the north, is undergoing some radical, even dangerous changes. Stay tuned.